Siege is no longer new. We've seen more than one generation pass us by at this point, with the vast majority of those who got us here having long since departed. Pengu was one of our first prodigies. Now he calls some of the biggest games in the scene. Fabian was the first to become more than a player, showing us what real strategy looked like inside the server and having us laughing outside of it. Now he's leading the next generation of talent. There was BC, who showed us that there was big brain players in North America as well, who is now working out of the spotlight. But while some of our heroes will move away, some stay, proving that time hasn't caught them yet. Shaiko is just as scary to see in the server now as he was 5 years ago. Nesk is still a problem at any LAN event, and Canadian continues to lead the charge, standing in as a leader in NA who will never be silenced. If you follow sport around the world, you'll know that there's more to being a pillar than just being the flashiest player at any given moment. Some people are so lovable you'll love them whether they're winning or losing. Some people make a particular scene better simply by being a part of it. One of those players is the one I've gotten the opportunity to speak to today. He needs no introduction, but he deserves one. DJ Gids, hit it.
Through square, repelling into the site, taking a lot of damage, but turning through the smoke. Will take down Vertical and another one. Leon trying to put this one over on ice. That shuttle's on 1 HP inside of the conference room. All it takes is one shot here from Leon. High rate of fire on the C7, and Leon! The beautiful clutch. The Brits now on match point and series point.
The Ossa here of Astro. That is what this round really rides on. And oh my God, no! You cannot! He can on his birthday, Tim. At that kind of range is what you're hoping to complete the kill as Leon comes swamping in. They've got the control. Steps in for a second. His second 3K in the game. Leon is on fire in this game. And he's in a spot to make the plan happen. Spoit is holding Memorial, crying, overseeing Leon as he gets the plan work done. And Spoit here versus Souls is the big one. And Souls wins it out. Crying steps in, wins out the trade. It's a 2v1 against Astro.
It's all getting a bit frantic inside a site there. You just felt for a second Crying and Leon might clash. But the only clash that matters is Leon and Astro.
What did I tell you? I told you we're winning this. EU on top!
As always, we start by taking a look at what Leon was playing growing up.
Oh, what wasn't I playing? Honestly, I think I started back in the day on a PS1, GameCube, like Spyro, Sonic, all that stuff, Super Smash, and then I think it mainly transitioned to first-person shooters when I was like 6, like on Call of Duty 2, from my dad, and then it's been just mainly FPS games ever since, really.
He found his way to Siege, and after watching some of the early Pro League finals, he would find his way into the competitive scene.
So I originally started on like this ranked team. We scrimmed a bunch of tier 1 teams, tier 2 teams all the time. We were called Aquila. It was just literally a bunch of like 17-year-olds basically. Just wanted to scrim and stuff, having a bunch of fun with all of our mates. And it got pretty serious. Obviously, once we turned 18 and stuff, we tried doing some Challenger League quals and stuff. But I wasn't able to play them because I was born in August and the qualifiers were in July. So that kind of led me to kind of leave the team or like not really play as much. So after that, I was playing with my friend Ferrell. I'm sure everyone will know watching this. He joined SNOS at the time as a coach or analyst because they needed someone. I can't remember who just left them, but he joined as like an analyst coach type thing to help them out. And then Zyronic just left their team as well, and he was their sub. So they needed a new substitute. So Ferrell just recommended me basically, and then I just got speaking to Meepy, Lackey, and all that. Did a few like trial scrims and stuff. Got to know everyone. And yeah, they were happy with me and they were excited to like have me there as a sub because they knew there was potential there with me. And then after that, when was it? I joined probably then like around September time. So after that, it must have been around December. The team wasn't happy with like Snooken, and they just didn't see him taking the game seriously enough. And they knew they just had me there sitting on the sidelines, a young 18-year-old ready to just fucking play the game and just keep grinding and stuff. So they wanted to try me out there, and then that's when I first played. Was in those SI Open quals as my like first like debut, I guess, on my first tier 1 team like starting roster.
They missed out on Invite, but would find themselves in Challenger League, which for many people would be a big step up in competition, but for Leon, it was just another day at the office.
Like honestly, like you said, it was pretty easy to be honest. Like, I think the first qualifier we kind of shit the bed a little bit. Um, I remember it very well to be honest. Like, I remember just sitting there talking about everything. And then we kind of came to the conclusion that Farrell wasn't really comfortable playing at the moment. I think like some pressure got to him and stuff. So we was able to pick up a Lem, and that completely just changed the way the team was. To be honest, like obviously he had so much experience already, coming in from I think it was like Vitality or Supremacy at the time, one of them two rosters. And yeah, it just kind of just excelled the team, and just pushed us over the line from like that threshold of being like a good team to a great team. And then yeah, like you said, we just curb stomped everyone in Challenger League and made our way back into Pro League.
Then we get to Dreamhack Valencia, which would qualify you to the Paris Major should you win. The thing is, Leon and IDK had already won the Paris Open quals at this point, so anything they got from Valencia would simply be a bonus. They would secure a hell of a prize, however, winning the event outright. This was no small step, but I'm starting to see a pattern in those who would go on to make their passion into a career, as an 18-year-old LeonGids would hop on a plane to fly without an org representing his team to play at a LAN. Some people just know what they're meant to do in life, and Leon was one of them, having made up his mind that this was what he was going to do.
SI 2018. I remember I already booked my flights and stuff for that, and like 2 weeks before that, I remember telling my manager at my old job, like, I'm quitting. I'm gonna just try pursue this, esports career because I had nothing better to do. I was only 18. I've finished school, whatever. And they tried convincing me that staying at this restaurant was going to be a better career choice for me than esports and all this stuff. So I said, you know what? I don't care what you think. I'm gonna go try my own thing. If it doesn't work, it doesn't matter. I'll just move on with my life. I'm only young. And yeah, that's how it kind of went from there. To be honest, just kind of winged most of it.
The team couldn't stay orgless forever, of course, and it's clear they had done enough to warrant representation. But how did they find a home?
Yeah, there's a long process for us actually. To getting the right org. We had a lot of talks with various orgs before that, just trying to get like general numbers and what they could provide for us as a team and stuff like that. And a few of them fell through. A couple of them, I'm not gonna like say who, just because it's so old. But a couple of them tried to completely like screw us over in our contracts and stuff. So we kind of just took our time. It wasn't in a rush to get like any org or stuff. So when Team Secret kind of slid into our DMs after that Dreamhack Valencia win, everyone was very excited. Of course, it's a very prestigious org inside of esports already, especially from like Dota 2 and stuff. They had a great backing and they were very excited to get into Siege as well. And I think all round it was just like a very exciting time for the whole team and for the people at Secret as well. Because yeah, they were just so nice to us and they've always been good to me, even today. Like sometimes they message me and stuff. So yeah, I love that. I love the people behind it as well.
Under the Secret banner, the team would go on to take a top 4 finish at the Major, losing out in the semifinals to G2, who were in the midst of becoming the greatest team in the history of the game, so no shame in that. But Mr. Gids is a competitor, and it wasn't that easy.
I think we were mostly happy with the performance. I think actually at the time when we actually lost to G2, we were very angry with ourselves because there was a lot of obviously individual mistakes or something that led to like us losing. But at the time, like you said, G2 were dominant. So looking back on it, it's you can say whatever at the time, but yeah, I think we were very happy with how that went. I think as well, if we were on the other side of that bracket, I think it would have been a secret G2 final. I don't care what anyone says. So yeah, so I have my opinion on that.
Looking back on Leon's career, it's clear that he was a LAN player. When he shows up to an offline event, he shows up and plays well. But what makes it different?
I think for me, and I've said this to all my teammates throughout the years and stuff, like when you're at an event or you're at a boot camp, you're playing land siege, you're only there for siege. Everything you're thinking about is siege. You wake up, you're eating breakfast, you're going, okay, what can we do for the day? We're gonna scrim, we can do this, we do theory, VOD reviews, and you're just constantly thinking about the next step and what's gonna be going on like in the event and stuff. So you're always preparing yourself for more siege. All you think about is siege. You don't care about anything else in your life right now because you're there for that specific reason. And I think that's what makes it so much fun because it's just you're just with the people you love playing with, your good friends, whatever, and then you're also there playing the game you love, doing your dream job. At least for me, that's how I feel, and it's just like the best feeling when you're just there, winning rounds and shit, and people getting more hyped, more energetic, fist bumping, even at points punching you just because they're so excited they don't know what to do.
He would have such an interesting early career, starting off with Challenger League, winning the season and earning their spot in Pro League. winning Dreamhack Valencia, then a month later taking top 4 in Paris, then a month after that coming in top 8 at Dreamhack Montreal. Then, while all of this is going on, they're playing their first season of Pro League, finishing top 3 because why not, I guess. But after so much success, they had to be struggle in the future, and it would hit hard as after missing out on Invite, Team Secret have a terrible Season 9 performance facing relegation, with a loss meaning they would fall back to Challenger League.
Oh God, that was a questionable year or half of the year for sure. I think honestly, I don't think it would have been as bad if they didn't schedule the way they did throughout that year. Because I remember we boot camped for I think like week or 2 weeks for the SI quals, but the way the schedule was like, yeah, you had an SI game, EUL game, or Pro League game, SI game, Pro League game, like constantly. There was no days off or anything. And once you're already on like a bad stint, it's obviously you need time to like recover or like think about what's gone wrong and stuff because everything was going on so quick. And all these games being played so fast and stuff. It was kind of hard to get into any good flow or habit of trying to fix these issues because we had no time to do it, and everyone else just overtook us, and we just didn't catch up at the end of it.
This wasn't the end for Team Secret, however, as even after being relegated, they would make a player change and head off to the Vegas Allied Minor, winning it to secure yet another major spot. But how did they course correct so quickly?
Honestly, I wish I could tell you. I wish I could tell you how we did that. To be honest, but I think it was honestly just like one big honeymoon phase. To be honest, obviously, down in the dumps, we've just relegated from an awful relegation game. But we already had that Allied Esports booked in advance before any of that relegation stuff. So Secret obviously had to keep us for that. Um, and yeah, we picked up Feral. And we just kind of sent it, to be honest. Like, obviously, we're just relegated. We have nothing to lose at that point. Everyone's just feeling awful. So we've just brought in a new guy who's he just doesn't care about anything. He just plays to play how he wants to play. And we just kind of work off that as well. Like, we just reacted around that. And it just brought everyone else into that same mindset of just, if we just play, if we just play in a way that we don't care about what other people think or how we think about ourselves, then we're just going to do well. We're just going to play well and have fun with it. We've relegated. Might as well just try and make a good year out of it. And yeah, I guess it kind of worked out for the best for us.
They win in Vegas, take another top 4 placing at the Raleigh Major, only losing out to Empire, who would win the event, but then come back from the highs of a LAN environment back to the disheartening realities of Challenger League. To go from the top of the world battling it out with the best, to those who dreamed of living your life, you would think it would motivate you to push you right back to the top. But it didn't, as Team Secret would fail to make it out of Challenger League not once, but twice. It's clear you and the people around you had the talent to compete at the highest level, right? How much did it affect you then having to step down and play in Challenger League? Did you ever consider quitting?
I considered quitting after we relegated. A lot of things weren't going well for us. But yeah, coming back from the major into the Challenger League season, I don't think the issue was anything to do with having to play Challenger League again. I think it was just because I think we were just a bit complacent at the time, just thinking it'd be like another easy season, because obviously relegated, but then we won an event and then we've come top 4 at another event. And we're like, well, we're playing like G2, Empire, all these like big teams and stuff that are in T1 and winning these events. Like, this is going to be easy for us. And obviously we've gone into that and it's gone the opposite way around. People getting scared because they thought it would be like a walk in the park. But yeah, it wasn't. So I think that's just the main reason why that really happened. I think we're just a bit too complacent with ourselves and just thought it'd be easier than it was.
If this story is ever made into a movie, we're absolutely in the second act. Our hero has fallen and we're reaching rock bottom as after failing to bring themselves back to T1, Leon's time with Team Secret was about to come to an end. But this fall from grace would be short-lived, as when one door closed, another one would open.
Yeah. How did this happen? Let me think. Well, we've gone off of that one Challenger League season, come back into another one. It's just gone to shit. It's gone complete shit. Obviously, we've not qualified again or even made the playoffs that time to make it into Pro League. Um, at that point, Secret's kind of done with it. They know about like the new system for the next year, and there's 2 teams that were August at the time that were like looking for an org. So it made sense for them to obviously drop us because they could just get another free UL team. So yeah, either way, I told the guys like even if they drop us, I'm leaving. I think it was just yeah, we run our course. It's the end. It's time for something new. And yeah, I was already kind of talking to like some people at Rogue during SI 2020 because I went out there just to watch. And I was talking to a few teams out there about joining them, but nothing ever came into fruition until a few months later, obviously. And the team that I was with or went with was Rogue. I think at the time it just made sense for me. Um, like role wise, it was a good one for me, and there's a lot of people that I wanted to play with there at the time. And I think it was going to be a good experience for me, so I just chose what I thought was best for myself.
We're not out of this hole yet, however, as with triumph would come tragedy. The new Rogue roster would go out and win the first stage of European League 2020, but as COVID shut down our world, Leon would miss out on what we've seen makes him so special, and that's playing on LAN.
It's kind of hard to say, really. I think it obviously didn't change much on the online aspect, but it did kind of suck. Like obviously, like I said, like coming first in that stage, whatever. And there was nothing like there was no LAN, there was nothing like that. There's nothing to be excited for. It was just like another online, like another EUL like stage for over a weekend instead of like a proper LAN event. So I think that's where it affected me the most because I think I do the best when I'm at like a LAN event or a boot camp when I'm around the people that I'm playing with.
The next stage wouldn't go so well as Mr. Gids would find himself staring down the barrel of relegation for a second time in his career. But this time it would go his way, swinging back and returning to battle it out for yet another year of online siege. When the Sweden Major came around and Rogue qualified, it would mark just 2 years shy since Leon last stepped on a stage. And while it wasn't perfect, it was a damn good feeling.
Yeah, it was obviously it was a bit more restricted than it could have been before. Well, technically, it was a benefit for me and everyone else. We all got our individual rooms instead of sharing a room. But we had like restricted, like couldn't go to talk to other teams really. You couldn't like you only could eat with your teammates and other things. I like to socialize with other teams and stuff, but yeah, being back at a LAN event was really good. It's just in general, just getting back to that type of environment is the thing that I always need when I get into these things.
Another major, another top 4 finish, another loss to those who would prove to be the best team in the world. After so long, for so many people, it would just have been nice to be back, but not for someone as driven as LeonGids.
Um, I was I was very pissed actually that we didn't beat Nip in that semi final because I know we played Coastline, but I can't remember the other maps we played. But I just remember arguing with like Prano and stuff because like at the time he was like IG or whatever of Rogue, and I just didn't agree with the way he wanted to like call us. I think it might have been Bank. Like I just didn't agree with the way he wanted to call Bank compared to how I wanted to play the way I wanted to play Bank or something. I can't remember which map it was. But we were just arguing. We had different theories every time when it comes into maps and stuff. Because obviously he'd have his own ideas, I'd have mine. And I felt like obviously my ideas would have been better while playing against them. He felt like his, so it got quite annoying and frustrating playing during that game. But yeah, I wouldn't say it was like anything else. Just a bit annoying.
The grind never stops, but life was looking up as for the first time in this illustrious career, he would qualify to step up onto the biggest stage in the 6th Invitational. But it wouldn't go the team's way. Falling short early on, it was time to make a change as Rogue would go on to look very different, picking up a champion of the old guard in Kanto and the spearhead of the next generation in Spoit. I'm always curious just how fast you have a team that can win it all. Does it just work?
It definitely takes time. Obviously after when we picked up Spoit and stuff, obviously a lot of people were looking for him. And we were getting comfortable with him and stuff, but there was just something not clicking right properly. Not with him in particular, but just the way we were like approaching the game and playing. And we just felt like stylistically we had to make a change. Obviously we just lost the Gamers 8 qualifiers to like Wylde, who were like a tier 3 team at the time instead of being an EUL. So we were kind of angry with ourselves and stuff. So we just kind of sat down and thought about how we wanted to play the game and approach it. And it's kind of how we came into Berlin, just coming in with like a whole different mindset and play style. And that's when it really started to set like the standard for us compared to that, like from when Spoit joined to just before Berlin.
I don't mean to downplay the sheer grit and determination it takes to fight over and over again, finding yourself 4th in the world again and again. No small feat. But no true competitor is ever going to be satisfied with 4th. Everyone wants to win the big one. They want to lift the trophy, and in Berlin 2022, LeonGids would do exactly that. It wouldn't be easy. They would fight for every inch of every map they played on, but in this moment, Leon would find himself to be undeniable. getting the chance to live out his dream standing atop the world. I asked him to put the feeling into words.
Oh, it was crazy to be honest. Obviously the final one landed on my birthday, so like that was like a double whammy already. But I think I don't know. Like as soon as we beat Exet in that semi-final, I just knew that we were going to win the whole event because obviously, like before, I've only come top 4 every major I've been to. So as soon as like I kind of passed at my own like threshold of where I thought like if once I pass this step, that's it, I'm gonna win like that whole event if that ever happens. And that's just kind of the mindset I went into it with once that happened. But yeah, like we just felt unbeatable to be honest. Like we knew if we were playing our game and just trusted each other off our comms and everything, we knew no one was going to stop us. We knew we were ahead of the game. We knew we had like the best players in the world, so we just played to that and just let it happen.
They arrived in Montreal for Invite 2023, the defending champions. They are the bar other teams have to measure up to, but it wasn't smooth sailing for Rogue, now under the banner of Koi.
Honestly, as much as we did do well and come like top 5, whatever, like the actual team itself was not feeling good going into this event. Practice was going really bad for us. There was a few things that we wanted to change before the event that wasn't able to happen due to external factors, not anything to do with us, like due to like the org. So that kind of had some people pissed off and stuff. So going into that, there was like arguments and just people wanting to like play differently and had different mindsets and stuff. So honestly, like I'd take top like 5 as like a kind of a surprise for us. Like, and if the way things went, how they should have went, like I think we could have won the event if we were in a better mindset or like attitude towards the game.
I feel like I've talked about this moment so many times, but it arrives again and again as the team would fall victim to Astralis in an absolute barn burner. Much like the feeling of victory before, I asked Leon to walk us through what this loss was like.
Well, obviously, that last round on border, it was 1v1, and it was me versus Forest. And then when I lost that 1v1, I've never been so fucking upset and pissed in my life. I threw the headset, I threw my earphone, I broke the headset that they provide. I broke my own earphones, and like by accident, I didn't even mean to do it. I was just so angry, and I've never been so upset or like pissed off with myself in my entire life because like personally, I took a lot of blame for like losing that game just because although like cooling wise wasn't too bad, but there's a lot of rounds, especially on that bank game, where they could have been a lot better if I was just a bit more calm with it, and especially in that 1v1 as well. Because I was just, if I wasn't like, honestly, if I wasn't playing Malusi, I wasn't a 1 speed, I felt like I would have easily won that 1v1, but it's just, yeah, I was just pissed off with myself. Yeah, I just, I've never been so upset in my life. I don't know, I don't know how else to word it, to be honest, other than just being upset.
With time to reflect, at the very least, Leon can look back and see that even if it didn't go his way, he got to be a part of something so incredibly special.
Oh, definitely. Like either way, like obviously back then in the moment, I was upset, whatever. But like looking back on it and actually watching the game itself, like I've watched it a few times. Like it's very enjoyable to watch. I can understand, like I can see why people really like that game. Like it was a very fun, electric game, and I'm really happy that we was able to provide such like a great performance for everyone.
What it must be like to live a life in which being the 5th best in the entire world at something is enough to make you the angriest you've ever been. I can't imagine it. Koi knew they wanted to make a roster move after Invite. They knew they wanted to be better, but the team never expected just how much it would change.
Well, after the event, we knew obviously that we wanted to make a change in Kanto and Meepy, but the split change was the one that kind of took us by surprise because we was all kind of getting ready and stuff to like you know look at all different trials and people to get up and stuff. And then a few days after that, Spoil's just like, yeah, I'm not gonna be. I'm just gonna. Like, I'm leaving. It was like, okay, whatever. Like at this point, like we tried our best. Like it was like, if you want, like you think you should stay, blah blah blah. Tried our best to keep him here, but ultimately we don't want to stop him from doing what he wants to do and living his dream. So we just said like, whatever you feels best for yourself, mate, just fucking get it done. We want you to have the best life and opportunities. So yeah, yeah, it was definitely a surprise for us when he said that, but yeah, we just had to kind of move on with it.
The rest of 2023 would be hard for Leon as he would try to bring this new version of Koi back to the heights he had seen at so many points in his career, but it wasn't to be. He would finish his time under the Rogue Koi banner without ever stepping foot on the big stage again. I've talked a lot in the last few videos about what goes into making a winner, but we've already proven that Leon is a winner. He spent his career duking it out at the top with the very best, and has the trophy cabinet to prove he belongs there. But he's more than that. He's a pillar of the Siege community. What does that mean? To understand what I mean by this term, we have to look to another sport, that being racing. Ferrari matters in motorsport. The day we no longer see a car bathed in Ferrari Rosso roaring down our tracks, we will know that racing is truly dead. They don't always have to win, but you always want them there because they just make it a little more special. It doesn't matter how good Leon Edwards is, we will always love Michael Bisping. It doesn't matter how many championships Lewis Hamilton wins, we'll always wish we could be as cool as James Hunt. And while it doesn't matter if Mini C Citizen is the one carrying his nation, we all just want to see LeonGids playing on the biggest stages of all. That's what being a pillar is. It's someone who honors the sport with their presence. That's why it made all the sense in the world when one of the biggest names in esports came and offered Leon a chance to carry on under their banner.
Yeah, it's kind of out of the blue for me. Like, obviously we had a really terrible year that was kind of out of our control. We've been able to do anything to actually help with that. It's like morale and motivation was very low for everyone. And I was just kind of thinking of calling it quits. Like I just didn't want to play under that banner anymore. Like it wasn't even like to do with the team. It was just like the org itself. I just didn't want to represent it anymore. So I was like talking to Tristan and stuff. And then he just kind of leaked it to us. He's like, listen, I don't want you to go, so I'm gonna let you know now. Like, don't tell anyone else in the team. But like, I've been talking to Fnatic for like a couple months, and it looks like it's gonna be getting somewhere with it, and we're gonna be moving away from Rogue. So I was like, and then after that, I was just buzzing. Like, I was just like pacing up and down the house. I was just like, there's no way these guys want to like pick me up or pick us up, like an org like this. So like, yeah, it completely changed my mindset. As soon as I heard that, like, I was just like, I just want to scrim. Like, let's get something done. Let's get started.
Fnatic is important in esports, and Leon is important to Siege, so seeing them together is a match made in heaven. The first stage with the new team could have gone better as they would fail to make the major, but to let him play in front of a hometown crowd simply would have been too much of a power-up for Leon, so the gods had to restrain him to just the show match. We all would have wanted to see him up there playing to win another major, but truth be told, it was just nice to see him on stage again.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, like you said, like that stage definitely could have been in our hands. There's a few issues, obviously, behind the scenes that we just need to work on, or we're working on as well. Yeah, it just sucked. But yeah, going out to that event and just seeing like a bunch of fans and stuff, kind of like reignited me a little bit. Just wanted me to like get out and actually like sick of like losing to all these teams. I want to be winning again, like dominating the scene. So yeah, just like getting back to an event after so long, it's definitely made me feel a lot more motivated again. Well, I was motivated already, but just wanting to get out there and smash everyone.
We all wish there wasn't such long breaks in between the first and second stage of the year, but it does allow for a team to find themselves and come back prepared, which is just what Fnatic has been doing.
Yeah, things have been very good. Obviously, you've not been able to watch the open qualifiers for us right now, but in a couple of weeks, the closed qualifiers begin. I'm not sure if they're streamed or not. I'm pretty sure they are, but I would say like a lot of things have changed since stage one already. We've been putting in a lot of back end work, like theory work, admin work, all that stuff. Really wanting to get ourselves like swinging in the ballpark here and just making sure we're on it for the rest of the year, just so we're ahead of people. We're grinding, just making ourselves work. Because that's what we want to be at. We want to be at these events, making the fans proud, Fnatic proud, ourselves proud as well. Like you said, it's been a long time since we've really done anything properly, like qualified for an event or actually done well at an event, anything like that. So we're really motivated and really want to get back under that, like qualifying for events consistently and stuff.
I'll be linking Leon's socials in the description below as per usual, but in his own words, where can you follow him?
If anyone wants to follow me on any social media platform, it's all LeonGids. It's all the same thing, nothing else added to it. Just plain and simple, LeonGids. So if you want to catch me anywhere, type that into Google, whatever you want, TikTok, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, whatever you need, I'm there.
As always, I'll let him say his own goodbyes to his fans around the world.
Yeah, just thank you to everyone that's been like supporting us, since joining Fnatic and stuff. Even though we've had like a shit year, we've really let everyone down. We want to make you guys proud again, and we want to keep, trying our hardest, trying our best for you guys, making sure we're making these events, and that's what we're going to be doing. And we're going to start that hopefully in a couple of weeks' time, making these EWC quals. Yeah, just thank you everyone for the love and support we've been getting recently. It's just immense, and I'm really thankful for everyone.
He wants to make us proud again. Leon, if you never hear it from anybody else, I want you to hear it from me right now. You've never let me down. You know why you have so many fans all over the world, including me? Because you're human, just like the rest of us. But while so many of us have fallen down in our journeys, you're one of the few who can pick yourself up with a smile on your face and convince the rest of us we have the strength to do the same. Stories like yours are the reason many of us find the courage to carry on, because we've seen it happen to our heroes. I would have quit when I was relegated, but you dusted yourself off and made a major. I would have quit when I couldn't climb out of Challenger League. You got up, threw on a new jersey, and took first in Europe. I would have drowned myself in doubt and never lived up to my potential, but you kept going and stood atop the world. There's another major coming up, and if I was a pro team in Siege right now, I'd be downright terrified of whatever Leon people around him are cooking up for November. He's down right now, but he never stays there, and I'm excited to see what's next. That's the end of our story for now, and the end of this video. If you've enjoyed it, do me a favor and drop me a sub, it really helps out. I know I've said it like 3 times at this point, but I really don't have another interview lined up right now, and I will have Mass Effect 2 ready for you next. And you, person in my comments, I haven't forgotten about you, and I will try to get a BDS member in here at some point. Anyway, though, thank you for the support. It means the world. This is Purple signing off. Have a wonderful night, and always remember to smile. Thanks, guys. You know, I always want to ask people how they got their names, but I feel like I cracked the code on that one for you.
Well, I mean, I technically like obviously it's obvious to people what my name's from, but I actually got it from my dad because he used to DJ a lot when he was younger, and he was called DJ Gids, and then obviously I had to make an Xbox account, so I called myself Little Gids at the time when I was like 7, and then yeah, I just changed it to LeonGids after a little while.